So another subject area that seems to tie in with this idea of simulation theory and trapped by the light and all of this is the Mandela Effect, so-called, which I think is really badly named, but we know what concept we're talking about here. This is one I've been interested in for the past few years, and there are, as far as I'm concerned, some very clear examples of this phenomenon. I feel there's validity to it.
Eric Dubay told me years ago on Facebook directly, in response to me, saying the Mandela Effect is a psyop, a Freemasonic psyop, and that anyone who believes in it is just duped and foolish. Dubay said this in around, I think, 2015 or 2016 on Facebook directly to me, and I have suspected things about this guy since those days. Okay, 8-9 years ago, easily, I've suspected this guy here. You get what I'm saying? The hero to hundreds of thousands puts out false information. I'd love to have a chat with you, Eric. Ask you some questions. Have a discussion, one-on-one.
What do you feel about that? And have you got any ideas of what could really be going on here?
I have seen that certain things have changed that they talk about in the sense of, certain video. It tends to happen in mainstream media, DVDs, books, whatever, and they'll change names or phrases or titles from what used to be remembered to something else. And I can see, there's many reasons for doing that, and that is a physical thing that can be done by people, publishing companies, etc. But there's another part of the Mandela Effect.
Not at all. Old books that people have had in their homes can't be done by publishing companies. Portrait of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, title of the book, changed to Picture of Dorian Gray, from portrait to picture. There's all sorts of things, physical things that have changed. It wasn't just the company changing the name or the publishing company. You haven't looked into the topic, or you're denying it. That's what it is. There are hundreds and hundreds of provable Mandela Effect changes. Maybe thousands, but at least hundreds and hundreds. There's tons in old Bibles that have changed that people know. They were shocked to open up their Bible and look at their old Bible that's been on their shelf for 50 fucking years, and it's changed in there. It isn't a new Bible. And they knew the passage, like the Lord's Prayer, trespasses. Lots of things have changed. Erica.
Lore, which states that, for instance, DVDs in people's own personal collections or books on their shelves have mysteriously changed over time. So when they were young, the Bible on their shelf said one thing, and now when they pick it up, the same physical book says something different. Now, this I have not experienced, and this I have...
Yeah, you have not experienced it, but some of us told you 8 or 9 years ago, and you denied it immediately. Immediately. You denied it directly to me in a comment, responding to me. You replied to a comment I posted on Facebook somewhere, and I'll never forget it. You denied it immediately. And I remember my alarm bells went off thinking, oh, this guy's pushing flat earth, but he's denying the Mandela Effect and basically mocking it and claiming it's a Freemasonic psyop. Well, how are Freemasons going to come into people's homes, change their CDs, music, DVDs, VHS tapes, old books, not just Bibles, other books have changed, titles included? How the fuck is that going to happen? What about old commercials as far back as you can go? Fruit Loops has changed. I look back to the oldest commercials you could find on YouTube that show the old black and white Fruit Loops cereal. It was always, it has changed in this reality. Lots of things have changed that people remember very vividly. So look around all you want. This guy should not be trusted on the left, and this guy on the right shouldn't be trusted either. Goofy on the left, goofy pipsqueak, angry red face on the right. There's some duality there.
I don't believe in this. I would have to...
And you don't believe in this. You've had 8 or 9 years to look into it. You would have to do what? You haven't had time for the past 9 years because people informed you about the Mandela Effect long ago. You would have to do what? Spend time looking into it? Do you need another decade? How come some of us picked up on this long ago?
Books on their shelves have mysteriously changed over time. So when they were young, the Bible on their shelf said one thing, and now when they pick it up, the same physical book says something different.
Some of the demons are leaving now as not watching anymore because they don't like that I'm exposing Erica Dubay, one of their own, and this guy. They can't take it. Plus, demons, of course, deny the Mandela Effect. They just believe what's written in fucking textbooks. If a scientist, a fake scientist, a Freemason actor like Neil deGrasse Tyson on TV says Mandela Effect is false, fake, misremembering, they just buy it. That's how dumb a lot of demons are on YouTube. So some of them are leaving now. Good riddance. Bye-bye.
Now, this I have not experienced, and this I don't believe in this. I would have to see a lot of things to make, and even if it was true, I have this big question. It's like, so people that think that, reality is so malleable that DVDs and books on people's shelves are changing, Dolly had braces and now she doesn't, and, Sex and the City. I have no problem with them putting out different copies of the DVDs. When is this one's at?
It's not just different copies of DVDs. This guy pretends not to understand simple things, but goodbye to Bobby. It's great to have you here. It's always good to have you here in chat, and have a good day, Bobby. It's good to see you.
But the idea that the one on your shelf changed, if that's the case, why on earth does the Mandela Effect only affect such silly things like DVDs and books? Why doesn't
It doesn't just affect silly things like DVDs and books. It's affected history, and it's affected geography. It's affected people. It's affected a lot of things in this reality. You just haven't studied it deep in depth, so you just mock it. And people believe this fucking guy. You can believe it. There's a lot of dumb people that all they have to do is hear something mocked by an Erica Dubay, and then they just don't look into it. I'm shaking my head, but that's a lot of people in this realm.
Different copies of the DVDs. When is this one's at? But the idea that the one on your shelf changed, if that's the case, why on...
He's misrepresenting the Mandela Effect. Without researching the topic, he's trying to dismiss it because he's never researched it. That's lazy. You're willfully ignorant. You're too lazy to investigate. You're dismissing it without investigation. You accuse others of doing that. Well, you're doing that, Erica. You're doing that, Erica Dubay.
On earth does the Mandela Effect only affect such silly things like DVDs and books? Why doesn't whole cities disappear? Or why aren't there huge things happening? Why is it just these tiny little subjective things that nobody can...
It isn't just tiny little subjective things.
Even confirm or deny that...
Let me just throw one in there, if I may, which is from my own personal observation. The sun seems to have changed. So I always remember the sun as being a golden orange, golden yellow, throughout the day. Now I see it as a beautiful golden orange at sunset and at sunrise. But when
there goes his laughter. On a dime, he stopped laughing. Now he's thinking, how can I come up with something in response to this?
it's at its apex in the middle of the day, it's white. The sun is now white. I don't remember it being white. Seems like something's gone on there.
Not sure about that one, but don't know if that would be part of the Mandela Effect.
Well, people that are part of researching Mandela Effect have talked about that one for years and years and years on Facebook, which you were on for years. That is a Mandela Effect shift or change. Absolutely. I wish people could see how I'm exposing him so much. More than I think anyone else has. Right now, tonight, in this video.
Is now white. I don't remember it being white. Seems like something's gone on there.
Not sure about that one, but don't know if that would be part of the Mandela Effect or not. It could just be whatever it is.
Right. It just seems like reality has changed in some way.
I mean, reality, to me, that sounds like climate change. And people are trying to say, oh, climate change, it's a thing now. It's like, well, yeah, but climate always...
Now he's trying to tie in Mandela Effect changes with climate change, if you can believe it. Well, climate change doesn't affect history. It doesn't affect the location of Australia. It doesn't doesn't affect Mongolia. It doesn't affect the shape and size of certain countries. Things have changed, Erica. Some of us notice. Maybe some of us are more observant than you are in our life, and we have a better memory, and we notice things changing. Or maybe you're just a liar and a denier.
Changes. So with the sun or with books or whatever, it's like, yeah, people change books, or I don't know. We don't know the ultimate nature of the sun. The fact that it changed could have to do with anything. But the idea that you're not you, but people are mixing them all into this one thing and calling it this Mandela effect, or like the name, it's after Nelson Mandela. People having two different ideas about his life and death, I guess. So it just seems more subjective than objective. But it seems like they're trying to turn it into an objective thing by calling it Mandela effect. But to me, it just seems like a very subjective thing.
Okay, so we should probably get on to cosmology. What do you think?
Sure.
Spinning ball denial.
Right.
They didn't stay very long on the Mandela effect, because all he did is deny it. Well, denial of something without proper investigation is the height of ignorance, and that's what you displayed. You can't be critical of others because you do that yourself, Erica. And I remember very vividly having a conversation with him in comments on Facebook all those years ago, and he mocked the Mandela effect and said, "Oh, that's not real. That's just a Freemason psyop." And all these years later, he still hasn't done any real research into it. How lazy? How fucking lazy is that?
And one of the things I get,
and people look up to this creature and praise and worship that creature. Pathetic, pathetic. In terms of being a researcher, he's not in my league. Period. Why would they just change trivial things with the Mandela effect, but you haven't looked deep enough to realize that there's been geographical changes. There's been huge changes of wonders of the world, like the Great Wall of India, not just the Great Wall of China. Great Wall of India. What about Rainbow Mountains, wonder of the world? 2 locations. There's some in China, and I think it's Peru, but there's the other Rainbow Mountains range. Did you hear about those your whole life? Rainbow colored mountains. Pink dolphins. What else? Australia shifting. What about historical changes? U.S. mainland, West Coast, Oregon and Los Angeles being bombed during World War II by the Japanese. Mainland USA, not Hawaii, not Pearl Harbor. Mainland USA. Also the Black Tom explosion that damaged the Statue of Liberty. There's a lot of things that popped up out of nowhere. People that were students of history, they're like, what the fuck? I never heard about that. In fact, we were always taught that mainland USA has never been under attack. Anyway, there's a lot in terms of history changes, countries, geography. Mandela effects, huge changes. It isn't just small little things in movies. So what are you laughing about, Eric? You do the same thing, but as the people you're being critical of. Why try to understand reality while you're here, right? Why not just dismiss it and follow Erica Dubé? He just wants to dismiss things. I don't even know if the guy's straight. He doesn't seem like it to me. He might even be lying about that. Do you really think he seems like a straight man? Does he really seem like a straight man? Let's be real here.
The same thing. These are defense mechanisms.
You just did that with Mandela effect. You said, why would they just change little things? You did the same thing. You don't investigate the Mandela effect. You did the same thing that you're accusing others of doing with flat earth. You do the same thing with the Mandela effect. You don't even see yourself. You lack the self-awareness, Erica.
And deflection tactics to just get you talking so that they can snarkily, be snarky and smile and sarcastic and laugh at you.
You were doing that with the Mandela effect. You're being snarky and laughing at it. And so it's just silly to investigate. But both of you did that with the soul trap topic for years. You laughed at it and scoffed at it and you didn't look into it. But now I guess you think, well, there's money in it, so I might as well start talking about it. A lot of rainbow stuff that I never saw my whole life of studying nature. From the time that I could read Ranger Rick nature magazines for children, I had a subscription to that. National Geographic, Nature Magazine, Equinox, all this type of adult magazines, like nature magazines is what I meant to say. Nature magazines meant for adults. I was reading as a child because I was really into studying nature, the natural realm, animals, sea creatures. There's a lot of new things here that I'd never seen until recent years, my whole life. Anyway, there's people that will never understand what's going on in this realm. So I get to the point where it's just like, good luck to them. Good luck, not just to Erica, but to the people here that maybe treat this as they don't really pay attention or what. Good luck to them. Good luck. Good luck. I've shared priceless information here, but good luck to them. Good luck. Stayed up, pulled so many all-nighters trying to teach this stuff, help people see through things. But there's people that, if you want to go to Eric Dubé's channel, I'll leave a link for the people that prefer that. You can go over to that big channel with over 200,000 subscribers, which is highly suspect right off the bat. He's teaching or sharing dangerous truth. How's he allowed to grow a channel to over 200,000 subscribers? There's Dubé's channel link. People that are interested in frauds and liars and big famous deceivers, you can head right over there and knock yourself out, enjoy yourself, have a blast, and go get brainwashed if you want to. That's always a choice available to everyone.
It has nothing to do with astronomy and the things that are happening up there. So I actually have lots of questions about the moon, the sun, and the stars. Not too many answers.
He has lots of questions about the moon, the sun, and the stars, but not many questions about the Mandela effect, about things in this realm changing and reality being not what they told us. Great job, Eric. You're such a great researcher. You're such a curious mind, open-minded. You investigate things before judging and condemning. Oh, you're so awesome. You're so awesome. You dismiss things, though, before you research, right? You don't investigate. You dismiss first. Great job. Great job. Great job. And, of course, people think this guy's a genius because he publishes books and he's gotten a measure of fame through YouTube and Facebook and his website. And that's what people go by. They're duped by fame, just like they are with famous people in Hollywood. They're duped by those pieces of shit. Actors and actresses. Anyway, that's the way it works in this realm. It's too much for most people to understand. Just like astronauts are actors. They're Freemasonic actors. Again, even that is too much for most people to understand. So for them to say, wait a second, Dubé might just be a fraud. He might be an actor too. Yeah, he could be. Again, that's too much for most, quote, truthers to understand. They don't have it in them to go that far. So be it. Better luck next lifetime. I can't force anybody to understand anything. That's up to you. It's not up to me. I remember years ago on Facebook, there was a girl that was a soul trap denier at first. And I think I knew her through Flat Earth or some other truth topic. Anyway, I asked her, hey, what is your top 5 movies? She named them. And at least 1 or 2 of those movies, I knew Mandela effects from those movies in lines of dialogue in the movies. Certain things had changed. Certain actor names had changed. The spelling and stuff like that. There were changes. And I said, which one do you know the best? And she named it. She said, I know that movie basically by heart, the whole dialogue. She'd watched it, I don't know, 15 or 20 times, some ridiculous number of times in her life. I asked her, do you have a copy of that movie somewhere? She said, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, I still have a VHS copy or something. I said, play it. See if you notice any changes, anything. She played it and then her mind was blown. And I remember her posting on her Facebook saying her mind was blown that the Mandela effect was real. All it took was it hitting her personally for her to see changes that she knew things had changed in one movie. Then all of a sudden she went from denying the Mandela effect, from saying that her mind was blown and was freaking out and couldn't believe that that could be changed. See, most people don't trust anyone else. It has to hit them directly. A lot of people are that weak. They won't even investigate something until it affects them personally. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Ya no puede caminar porque no quiere, porque le falta marihuana. That's what a lot of quote truthers are unwilling to do, is to say, hey, this person's false. This is fake. This person's a shekels lover. This person's a scammer. This person's a grifter. This person's a fraud. Oh, they spoke a tiny bit of truth. Big deal. They led me astray. And that's what a lot of baby truthers won't do. And they have what I call the baby truther ego, where they attack people. They attack people that have spent decades trying to share the truth and expose them. And they say, oh, you come across like an oracle. You come across like a cult leader, this or that. All they have is ad hominem attacks. Show me what I've been pushing on my channel that isn't real. How about you try that? Try to debunk what I share here in terms of knowledge and ideas. Go for it. Go for it. Open challenge, not just to Jimmy, but to the whole internet. Go for it. Go for it. What this world doesn't want is real truth speakers. Most people walking around in this realm want liars. They want false heroes. They want false idols. They want sellouts. They want fakes. They want demons. That's what's popular for a reason. It's for a reason that there's millions of people following a Taylor Swift or a Lady Gaga or a Madonna for decades. There's reasons for that. There's psychological, spiritual reasons for that. That's what I'm getting at. Most people are that way in this realm. They prefer the fakes. It isn't just that the fakes are so good at faking or acting and fooling them. They prefer it. And this is something that people really need to let sink in their consciousness and realize before you leave this realm. Because if you leave here without understanding that, you've got a real big hole in your armor. I'm not kidding about this. You better understand what's going on in this realm and the way that most on walking on two legs are in this place. They prefer the soft, comfortable lies, the popular liars. Don't believe me? You go try to convince them that their favorite pop star is evil, their favorite rock star or rapper or politician that's running for prime minister or president, prime minister in England or president of the United States. You go try to convince them, or prime minister in Australia or Canada. You go try to convince them that that's a demon or that's a liar, that's a fraud. You go try to convince them. Anyone at random. Doesn't have to be your family member or someone. Say, oh, Stephen, I don't want to lose a family member. Try it with a stranger on the street. Try it with someone in a restaurant or sitting in a pub, a bar, whatever, out in public somewhere, or standing out somewhere in a tourist spot, whatever. You go try it and see how far you get with someone. Ask who their favorite is, and then try to show them, hey, that's a fake, that's a puppet. You go try it. See how they react. See how emotional and defensive they get. See how they cling to the liar, and they get angry at you. And I'm pointing the finger at you. They'll get very angry at you for telling them the truth, and they'll never be angry at the one that lied to them for years or maybe their whole life. Show them what Catholicism is, and if they're a Catholic, if you find out they're Catholic, show them what Catholicism is. They'll be fucking irate at you. They'll be livid at you, at the truth speaker, and that's what I get every day. So think about that. The people that say, I tried that once, Stephen, I'm not doing that again. I get that every day. I get anger and accusations aimed at me every day. I'm not crying victim. I'm telling you something. And in case you haven't realized, the liars are winning in this realm. I'm not saying that they'll ultimately win, but in terms of how many people see the truth in this place, it's pretty fucking rare. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of people that call themselves quote awake or quote truthers, and they're liars. They're full of shit. They're a bunch of followers that are just following channels the same way they follow TV channels, same way that people watch MSNBC or CNN or BBC News or some shit on television. It's the same thing. They're followers. They're not truth seekers. They're not thinkers. They don't have minds of their own. They're garbage. That's the reality. You can get sad about it. You can get upset. Do whatever. And I stand behind what I just said. Your feelings don't change what I just said for the people that are upset. Or it doesn't matter. That doesn't change the truth. You could cry a million tears. You could cover your floor in tears. You could throw a tantrum and roll around on the floor, kicking and screaming like a toddler, which some adults do. It doesn't change the truth. Most people in this realm are goddamn followers. They don't defend the truth. They attack truth speakers. And if somebody exposes their favorites on YouTube, like I just did with Erica Dubé, and I showed what they are for hours or however long I was covering that, seemed like a long time. People hop on and think in 1 minute, what's your script? I don't have a fucking script. None of this is scripted.